which evidences that wherever we are, they're making schools a combat zone. Armed persons will do that. Let me yield 5 minutes to the gentlelady from Pennsylvania, Congressman Dean. Thank you.
I thank you, Madam Chair. I thank you to you and to our chairman of the full committee for always focusing on the issue of gun violence and for wanting to make a difference, and finally this year making a very small difference. But I thank more the testifiers in front of us. For those who have lost so much, families from Uvalde, Sandy Hook, in neighborhoods around this country, I thank you so much. I always start with the notion of what John Donne said so many centuries ago. Don't ask for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee. It tolls for every single one of us every time a family member is struck down by violence. And while I so value what you have said to us, I'm actually going to ask you to reflect back to me what you're hearing here today. In the face of such loss, in the face of something that is man-made and therefore could be man-solved, you are hearing that the root cause of massacres across this country, like no other industrialized country suffers, is evil. It's mental illness. We need more paddles and prayers. There's too many single moms raising children. Really? Do we have greater evil here? Do we have greater mental illness here? Do we struggle with families and holding families together, and proud mothers and fathers who raise children sometimes as single parents? Really? We heard testimony of a headless child. We're going to talk about paddles and prayers might solve this problem? No. Where have we lost our humanity? Early on in this testimony, you heard from the ranking member, his focus, his worry is that we are trying to emasculate the Second Amendment. My, oh my, to deprive a man of his male role or identity. May not anyone's masculinity be connected to slaughter of children in our country. And so I ask you respectfully, please know I respect all of you. When you hear this set of arguments, can you reflect back to me how we bridge the divide, how we really want to work this Congress and next Congress with members across the aisle to find the love and the humanity to find solutions to this man-made problem? So Faith, may I begin with you? When you hear this set of arguments, what do you think?
I think it just upsets me because it shouldn't be between two parties. It should be the fact that Americans are dying every day, children in America are dying, and you're arguing over the fact of, well, if we take away this gun, we're taking away our Second Amendment laws. That's not the issue. The issue is your people are dying, you are the leaders, and you aren't doing anything about it.
Thank you. Dr. Guerrero, what do you think?
I think it's disturbing on my end because as a pediatrician, you also see the parenting side of these kids in your clinic every day. And I have plenty of kids that suffer from mental illness, that end up being in institutions, that end up as bad kids that had great parents, both mom and dad, day in, day out. And the parents are at wit's end saying, I don't know what the hell to do with this kid. And it's not that I did anything wrong or didn't raise him correctly. What is, just is, right? And as I mentioned earlier, with the shootings at Pulse and at Club Q and in El Paso, I want to focus on that on this side. I'm a proud gay man. I'm a proud Mexican-American. I'm also a proud Uvaldian. So all three of these tragedies angle in at me at some root. So don't sit here and tell me it's because this kid wasn't raised right or because they were suicidal, went to depression, didn't have a therapist. Yeah.
Representatives, he's our Democratic leader in the House. I served with him there. We formed the PA Safe Caucus after Sandy Hook 10 years ago. We heard these same arguments. What's your reaction when you hear this ridiculous clash of arguments?
Congresswoman, it's outrageous. I mean, at the end of the day, an 18-year-old accessed a militarized weapon on his 18th birthday, and then again on the next day, and then again the next day. The fact is, 18 states have age limits. You passed a bill in the House with an age limit to 21, and the Senate, compromised bipartisan bill, stripped that out. The fact is, if America saw how this young man accessed these weapons, you would be disturbed and disgusted about an 18-year-old going in to buy these types of weapons. 75% of Republicans want age limit increase. Your constituents want an age limit increase to 21. You know, Jesus Christ, he was a fixer. He wasn't a prayer. There's only one time in the Bible he said to pray, and that was the day before he was arrested. He said, let's pray. The fact is, he fixed things. He did things. He said, let's do something. Let's be kind to immigrants. Let's save kids. Let's protect kids. He was a doer. You're doers. You're fixers. That's what people elected you to do. And now it's time to do something. Not to do something for the moneyed interest.
And
we all know about the money in this room, and we know all about the gun lobby in this room.
Bloomberg.
And that's the truth.
And I pray that in this upcoming Congress, we will find the power to work together to solve this problem, because 97% of gun owners want us to solve this problem. I yield back.
I thank the gentlelady. That